Hello, Mark Holland, Holland Gold, Riggins, Idaho, home of the Gold Maker. So my buddy Bob, he thought it might be fun, and I agreed to share the progression of the Gold Maker, how it came about, where the concept came from, and so there's a couple other manufacturers involved here, and I want to give credit where it's due on how I got to our final version. Neighbor here, Alan Trees, and I were in rural Idaho. We were about a quarter mile apart. Alan was over here, and he was looking at reintroducing the Gold Grabber. He had already built several variations, and he was definitely, that was his inspiration. And I thought it looked unique. And I have a background in auto body, also a lot of different backgrounds, but I knew how to weld, build molds, etc. And he asked me if I wanted to come in and relaunch this thing. And the version that I'm talking about that Alan and I built is probably the one that you're familiar with, if you are, and it's the green one. And it was 2 parts, and it was a great compact Highbanker. It was a good product. When Alan and I parted ways, I wanted to build a better mousetrap. As good as the Gold Grabber was, it only had 17 inches of recovery. Also, it exited the tailings at the bottom. So he and I parted ways, and I built this beauty right here. And I had a concept that I didn't want to just only get 3/16 or a quarter inch because and discard everything else, because the Salmon River, yes, it's mostly fine gold, and that's where most of my customers locally go. They go down here on the Salmon River and they shovel in, but there are gold nuggets on the Salmon River too. And I didn't want to discard those to get the fine gold. And other videos, we talk about particle equivalency and how important it is to get the larger material away in order to catch that fine gold. I'm not going to go into that, but I will say what I wanted to do was be able to shovel in, have the material wash. I wanted it to exit at the top rather than the bottom, so that you didn't put 2 shovels in and then have to shovel 2 shovels away. And we achieved that. The other thing I wanted was to get the larger material away from the fine gold. And we did that with the recovery drawer, but you get a second chance at the nugget. This old machine is missing the second grizzly, so it doesn't well demonstrate it. But basically anything from 3/4 minus to a quarter plus slides down the second grizzly and loads down here in the nugget recovery zone. And this story here is going to sound like I made it up, and I even find it kind of hard to believe, but I put together this piece of plywood contraption, and the very first day that I ever went out all by myself, I was not on bedrock. I was in a compact gravel layer, and I knew that it contained a high quantity of fine gold, good gold. And I shoveled in for an hour, shut down, and this nugget right here, and it's a bit of a keepsake for me. I call it the boomerang. It was not on bedrock. It was suspended in this, found using a Highbanker. I found gold. I found nuggets dredging, and this was before I actually had any experience with a metal detector, which we had success. But this thing was right here, literally right behind this bar. It slid down, get loaded, and it was right there. And I could not believe it. Anyways, so it was like day one, it was proof of concept. It's like, this actually works, because in the original machine, this actually would have probably excited. I felt like, okay, I got to keep going. This actually works. And so we spent a little money, and I hired a gentleman to draw what I had put together in a bunch of sketches. He drew this for a mold. Had another gentleman build us an aluminum roto mold, and then a third party, actually, they build the blue parts outside of our shop, the blue and pink bodies. All the other components we build in-house, the drawers, etc. So we spun up a couple to try and make the concept work. Well, we had some challenges, had some things that needed to be changed, etc. So this machine has seen better days, and has seen a lot of gravel. I call it Frankenstein. You look, I I cut the snot out of it. You can see the duct tape, Gorilla Tape hanging off, aluminum parts. I made all kinds of changes in it. This is Frankenstein. I also built these fully functioning fiberglass drawers. That's the concept of would a plastic drawer work. In this one, I used a lot of Gold Hog. Great product, by the way. I didn't want to have to duct tape the matting, so I actually glued it down, and I thought that might work. We might go with Gold Hog. But what I learned is the Gold Hog matting does a great job at catching gold, but you have to be able to take it out and you have to be able to bend it backwards to get it to release the gold in the gravel. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted it one and done. So that was Frankenstein. That's where we went. The next evolution was all of these cutouts and changes I made. I brought the mold home. I rebuilt the mold, took it back to the plastic rotomolder, and we built this guy. And I actually call this the Bride of Frankenstein. And we did the aluminum drawers. It was going to be quite an investment to buy a thermoformer and actually build the plastic drawers, and I wasn't quite there, willing to make that jump. We built the aluminum drawers, again, with the hog mat, and this worked. This was a very fully functioning machine. It was heavier than it's still very light, very compact. It's got a handle on it. You can carry it. But I've been carrying this now, and I unloaded this from my pickup truck and brought it here, and I'm like, holy smokes, these were a lot heavier than those. So this was a fully functioning machine, but we just wanted to go that one more step. And then we landed on our final version, and this is what we came up with. Plastic drawers, of course, and also to get away from all of this heavier steel emulsifiers, I came up with an idea that we can make the classifiers out of plastic as well. And ultimately, we ended up with this guy, and less than 30 pounds, accommodate back cross straps for hauling it in. A second chance at the nuggets, and you pull the drawer, you get the gold. The gold maker, where we are versus where we began. We started with this plywood beauty that I built, and proof concept was quickly proved to me day one. And then we chopped up Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein, I like to call them. And this is our product today. This is the gold maker. It has triple classification. It has 51 inches of gold recovery. It has a custom spray bar that really does not help you get more gold. You know what? It'd just be cool to do something different and not white PVC pipe. We build this custom hose assembly, which I highly, highly recommend. This unique valve was hard to come by, but it's a 4-position valve. This is not just a ball valve. So you can do the spray bar only, the spray nozzle only, both are full off. Makes it really, really nice for cleaning up the drawers, spraying them into the bucket. Which, by the way, that's another point, just silly, easy to clean. Just Bob's favorite part, no wing nuts. Bob has a tendency to lose his wing nuts. In a nutshell, if you can put some water to it, shovel into that hole, you pull the drawer, and you get the gold. 30 pounds, my bad.
29.
What is it?
29.
29 pounds, less than 30 pounds. Gold makers, gold grabbers, gold getters, etc.